Hello there. So, chances are, if you've ever heard of VR, you've heard of face tracking. Now, in VRChat, a lot of face tracking is done with what's called unified expression or ARKit blend shapes. Basically, it's a preset like amount of blend shapes that have very specific names that are used for face tracking. Now, these are super useful. They're absolutely great, and if your avatar has them, you should absolutely make use of them. However, there's a lot of avatars out there that do not have those blend shapes. And a lot of the time, creators will then not add face tracking support at all because, well, it doesn't have the full face tracking blend shape. So why add face tracking support? Um, the thing with that is that that's actually like a slight misunderstanding of what face tracking is, because like one of the core things is that at the end of the day, your face tracking is nothing else other than a device that provides you with data that you can use on your avatar when you're making an avatar. As a very simple example, whether my mouth is open, whether my eyes are open or closed, that's data that I can just use on my avatar. VRCFT specifically actually exposes that data for my face tracking using something called parameters. So here, for example, is the jaw open parameter. This parameter outputs either 0 or 1 based on whether my mouth is closed or open. A similar parameter is the tongue out parameter, outputting 0 or 1 whether the tongue is out or not. And then another one that's very, very simple is the mouth smile left and mouth smile right parameters. Ooh, let me adjust it a little bit. There we go. Mouth smile left and mouth smile right parameters, which, well, I think you see where this is going. This is some very simple like naming stuff. They control your whether you're smiling on the left side and the right side. That's that simple. Now all of these parameters you can very very easily find if you simply go to VRCFT's documentation at the link above. I'll also put it down in the description. And there you can just take a look at all of the different parameters that it provides you to use in your avatar creation. Now, the reason why these are really useful is because at the end of the day, a parameter is just a value, so you can make use of that value. To give you a quick showcase of this, I'm going to actually press play in my Unity scene here. Just going to start compiling with VRC Fury. Because what I suggest you do with this is when you're setting up something like this, do use VRC Fury, specifically a full controller for setting up your face tracking, shape, and stuff, and animations and stuff like that. Because it essentially just helps you build your content in a way that is modular. So if a end user, or for example you, at some point don't want the face tracking component anymore, you can easily just delete it. And there you go. Now your avatar is slightly more optimized. Now, if we go into my animator here, you'll see I have these layers here called mouth open, angry, mouth smile left, and mouth smile right. Now these are very very simple controllers. All they do, these layers, is they have a blend tree in them, and this blend tree just sets a value between 0 and 1. And as you already might notice on this blend tree here, specifically in the name here, is that it says FTV2 and then has the word jaw starting here. And if you already had suspicions about it, I can go back to parameters to confirm it, that yes, up there we do in fact have FTV2 jaw open. Now, this is the first thing you have to do to support VRCFT's face tracking. You just have to add a parameter into an animator that is the exact same name as the one on their website. I just have all of them prefixed with FT, even those that aren't prefixed with FT, because I don't think the path fully matters. I think the most important part is the ending part, but don't quote me on this. Ideally, just stick to the exact naming that they give you. Now, once you have these values, all you then also need is a parameters file that you can see now on the right side up there. Wait, right side. I haven't mirrored, so for me it's the left side actually. On the left side up there, or right for you, left for me, there's the parameters list. Now, this parameters list just contains every single parameter on your avatar that is synchronized. Now, when you want to use something like jaw open, you then have to add it to this file. Otherwise, it's not going to synchronize or even work on your animator. Because this is actually what VRCFT, if I'm not mistaken, is detecting in order to control those values. Now, the next thing here is that you'll need animations. And the reason why I suggest actually you use a VRCFT full controller for this rather than just building this directly into your avatar is because if I was to go here and put in a controller at the right top for you, left top for me, then when I select the avatar, it'll select that animator in the animator panel, which means I will see all of the layers in that animator. And if I go to the animation panel and click the little drop down, it'll show me every single animation that is listed in that animator. Because of how Unity works, unfortunately, you won't see the drop down, but basically it shows every single animation I have in the animation folder right now because they're all slotted into the animator, which is just mouth open 0, mouth open 1, smile 0, smile left 1, right 0, right 1, and so on. Now, if I actually click the drop down swap to the mouth open 1, you'll see that this is literally just a path to a blend shape, and then it sets it to 0 or to 1. And that is how simple it is. That is the entire animation. If you want to make a new one, all you have to do is just... forgot that also jumps in here. You have to just make a new animation file. So let's just quickly make a new animation file by right-clicking and then create new. And then we do animation. Where's animation? Animation. There it is. So now we have this new animation file over here. And we'll just keep this called new animation. I'll back up real quick so you can see it. I'll just call that new animation. And we'll just select it. Now, once we have it selected, we can just go into the animator, create a new layer, call this new layer in this case, set its weight to 1, go to parameters, add a float parameter, call this, let's just call this new float. This would be called after the actual parameter though. Then in this new layer, we simply want to right click again and then create a state from new blend tree. Double click into the blend tree and now you're inside of the blend tree. Now, once you're in there, you just want to, at the left top, right top for you, select on the drop down on the parameter the new float that you created, which would, however, be in your face tracking parameter. And in motions, you'd want to add 2 motion fields where we put the new animation into one of those slots. And once you have it slotted in and you go back to the animation window, you'll actually be able to see the new animation in the drop down and be able to select it there. Now, you want to do this with your avatar selected. And the reason why is because if you do that, then you can actually click the Add Property button, go to Body, Skin Mesh Renderer, and then on here you have all of the different blend shapes. For example, let's do eyes wide. Then we can just right click that and click Add Properties. Or if we wanted to, we could also just control click multiple of them or shift select multiple of them and just add them that way to the properties by right clicking. And once we have those, you want to actually remove the ending here, the little keyframes, by just dragging and selecting them and clicking delete keys. Now, once you've done this, you're left with just one keyframe at 0.0. Then we just want to set these blend shape states here to 100, which 100 is basically means it's fully activated. Once you've done this, we simply right-click the animation file and copy it and then paste it. Can I do this with right clicking? Actually, I cannot copy paste with the right click, it seems. So I'm going to have to quickly remote connect to my PC because I did not consider that there is something in here that I can't just easily do in VR. So just Control C, Control V. There we go, new animation. And then we just select the new animation that we made and just set those values to 0. Go back to selecting your avatar, go to the animator, go to your new layer, you go to the blend tree, and just swap in the other new animation file that goes to 0 in here. And there you go. Now using the slider, it goes between those two values. Now, while you are in the regular mode right here, where you're just in the editor, you won't be actually able to see those update. But if we actually go into play mode, which is going to take a sec because it just needs to compile all of the VRC Fury stuff. Now, once we're back here, we can actually select our avatar, scroll down, and then instead of having the VRC Fury FX controller slotted into here, we slot our face tracking controller into here, so that once we go into the layer, we can actually just double tap it to go into the blend tree, slide this a little bit to make it bigger, and now if I move this here, you can see how the facial expression on the xenomorph changes. And that is how simple it is to just do that in Unity. Now, to the second part, because as I said, this is going to be VRChat and Unity tutorial. So we're now Resonite and Unity tutorial. Sorry. So we're now at the Resonite part. So once you have this done and you want to do it in Resonite, I'll just quickly grab the camera. And if we just rotate around, you can see here that I have already a panel here with a box. Now, the reason why is because it's very simple. If you want to add face tracking with blend shapes that aren't actually face tracking blend shapes in Resonite, all we have to do is we just click Attach Component. Then we go to Users, Common Avatar System. We go to Face, and then Avatar Expression Driver. And we will also want Avatar Mouth Data Source Assigner. Grab the data source and slot it into the target reference. I'm just going to show this again. You grab the data source and you slot it into the mouth target reference. Now, once you've done this, you can just click on your expression drivers, add, and from the expressions list, just select which expression you want. So let's say, for example, tongue out. And then all you need further beyond that, is to just, on your avatar, go to your body. So I'm going to quickly do that. Find the blend shape that you actually want to control. So let's say, for example, I want this art shape here to happen when I stick my tongue out. So I would simply just slot that into the target here. And now that's it. That is literally it. If this wasn't an avatar and I equipped the avatar, my mouth tracking would now control that. To showcase this really quickly, I'm going to manually fill out actually the data source here from my avatar so I can preview it. And now, if I just stick out my tongue, you can see hearts up here in my eyes. And yeah, it's a little bit faster to do this in Resonite than it is in Unity, but hey, it's the exact same process basically, just that we already have native support for all of these shapes, so you don't have to manually make those parameters. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too much of a ramble, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.